Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
Rolling with the Underwoods with James and Lori Underwood. You can find them on Facebook, Rolling with the Underwoods, or also on A Trucker's View, where they showcase their life over the road as truckers with their two dogs, Thor and Lady, and the newest addition to the Underwood family, Bobo and Princess Rhinestone. They're two puppets who are always getting into zany trouble. Be sure to follow their life over the road at Rolling with the Underwoods, or also on A Trucker's View. Chasing Miles with the Clarks is the newest addition to A Trucker's View. You can find their Facebook page, Chasing Miles with the Clarks, on Facebook, or follow them on A Trucker's View. Follow Justin and Chris's journey over the road, and follow Chris's journey as she joins CDL school to become a truck driver, and soon she'll join Justin and their dog Rio for their new life over the road. Follow Chasing Miles with the Clarks on Facebook today.
We're back. And I hope everybody unmute everybody.
Hey everyone.
You had super weird feedback like Larry had last night.
I do.
Now you don't, but you did just
Okay.
a second ago, so fingers crossed.
Yes, I'm going to cross my fingers. Okay, yeah, I can hear myself. I don't know why.
I don't hear an echo on my end. You sound normal to me.
Catherine, do you hear echo?
A little bit,
Oh,
but I hear it from me too. So
Okay.
and I don't hear it from you. You both sound crystal clear to me.
Okay, cool. We'll cross
okay,
our fingers.
that works.
So, Catherine, where are you headed to so that everybody knows? Your big news tonight's pretty exciting.
So I'm actually in Jerome's, Pennsylvania, at the pilot, waiting to meet one of our fans, one of our divas, Miss Myrna. And
Oh, nice.
yes, so we got to know each other following the domestic violence show, and we have become very, very good friends. So we are just waiting for her to get here so we can meet and hang and catch up.
Exciting, exciting, exciting.
I'm so stoked.
Yes.
Okay, so they're saying there's an echo from me and Catherine. So, okay, is that any better? No, it's my phone. Yeah, I hear the echo really bad.
I do too.
I don't hear it.
Okay, is that any better? No.
She's like, no.
I can hear an echo on me too.
Okay, this is getting
I don't hear it at all. Like, you guys sound perfectly normal to me.
Should I leave and come back?
It's me too, though.
Me
I can hear myself coming back. Yeah.
I don't hear it.
Well, Chris, you sound perfect to me.
Perfect. I strive for that. Perfect. Yeah, like I said, you guys sound fine to me. I don't hear an echo.
Okay, they're saying that it's coming from. They think it's coming from Chris's connection.
Well, I'm not on my computer. I'm on my phone, so that would be irrelevant.
Yeah. Well, Catherine, you are at a truck stop. We're just going to have to roll with it because I'm not sure, because everything on my end looks good and I can't figure it out.
Weird.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Tiffany's asking, how am I feeling? Okay, so here's a funny story for you. I thought that I was feeling much better, so I went to the grocery store tonight. I already got out of the computer. I'm not even in the computer. That's because I thought that too. I don't know. So anyway, I went to the store tonight for the first time since we've left the house. And I went grocery shopping and I lost my card coming out of the store. I was like so tired from grocery shopping in the store. And I come out of the store and I'm like, I start panicking. I'm like, okay, wait a second. I just parked like one lane over, so I'll go over one lane. So then I go over one lane and my car's still not there. And I start panicking. I'm like, oh my God, somebody stole my car. And at this point, I'm like all out of breath and I'm all tired. And then I use my little panic button to find my car. So that's how I'm doing. I'm still very scatterbrained and I'm still getting very tired. So it's a slow process, but I'm feeling better.
It's any consolation to you, Angela. I've done it and I have not been sick like you. So, I mean, I think it's just mom brain. We have it once and we never get rid of it.
She made her car go.
Just a FYI, Angela, Justin sent you a random text, but you do not need to look at it right now. It is not emergent. So after the show, take a peek at it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, Kenneth, we do have feedback. I apologize. I don't know where it's coming from. I've checked my mic settings. I seem to be okay. So unfortunately, we're just going to have to roll with it and figure it out. So I do apologize. Okay. Kathy's saying I shouldn't feel bad because she's lost her truck plenty of times. Maybe it's an old age thing. I don't know.
Hey, we're the same age. We're not old.
I should tell the story about you meeting Ron for the first time. On a white truck in the middle row.
Okay, with all the other white trucks in the middle
all
row.
the other white trucks in the middle row.
That's like every time I try to order supplies, like when we're down for a weekend and we're at a truck stop, and you do like the Walmart delivery or the Instacart delivery, well, our truck's white. So like, how do you tell the poor Instacart person a white truck in a truck stop? It's like, you have to be, okay, I'm like 10th from this section.
What Justin does, if he gets delivery, like sometimes he'll order Domino's or whatever, like he'll say, I'll leave my flashers on. And he leaves his flashers on so that it kind of sets him apart, hoping nobody else has their flashers on. But yeah.
Well, no offense, but your guys' truck is pretty sexy too. So I love your truck.
We appreciate that. The driver makes it happen.
What are you talking about? You're gonna be behind that wheel soon.
Pretty soon. Hopefully. One set of fingers crossed.
Yes.
I'm getting nervous about it, but it's all gonna be good. No turning back from here. I gotta go with it.
No, this Thursday, right?
This Thursday is the last day of school.
Yeah.
We've heard so my trainer leaves, he'll be with us Monday, Tuesday, all day Wednesday, and then he leaves to go back home Thursday. He lives out in Hickory, which is like past Raleigh, but not quite Asheville. It's sort of like in between. So I assume Thursday is test day. I don't know, but we're going to go with it.
You got this. So
all good.
I love you guys because you love me when I don't love myself.
Ashley just sent a message. So Ashley, I sent you the link in the administrative chat so that you can join. And you can join anytime, sweetie. Any of the shows. You're an administrator now. You don't have to, but if you want to come join us, come join us. I can get you in the show anytime. I'll hear you beeping.
So, you have free entry, free admission.
Yes. You have free admission every week, Ashley.
Oh my goodness. Ashley, yes. Yes.
Yes, right. Yes, Ashley, yes.
Oh my gosh.
You don't need to knock.
Ashley.
You can just come on in.
Yeah, you don't need permission, Ashley.
You are the permission.
Yes. So, Catherine, you are in a truck stop with your husband, Ron, and you're getting ready to meet somebody pretty special. You want to tell everybody about that?
Yeah, so I met Myrna Mills after the domestic violence show that we did, I don't know, about a month ago, was it?
Mm-hmm.
And she shared her story with me, and we ended up talking for like 2.5 hours the first time we exchanged information and everything. And we ended up getting very close, and we've become very good friends. And she is on her way here to this truck stop where I'm at in Pennsylvania. So we're super excited to meet her, and I'm hoping she doesn't get lost because she got turned around a couple of times because Pennsylvania roads suck. So
They do.
I keep watching the
They do.
trucks. I'm like looking for the right truck. Yeah, so we are going to get to meet her tonight and hopefully spend some time to get, we're going to let her stay at the house because,
that's a good idea.
yeah, because it's really not that far. It's not that far at all. So
That's awesome.
I'm just really excited. I just feel, I know I can trust her. It's nothing. I'm not worried about that at all. Like, she's just a very sweet woman, and she's come so far. So,
That's so
I'm really
cool.
proud of her. Super proud of her, and I'm hoping that sometime we can get her to be a guest on the show for sure.
That would be amazing.
I was just going to say, I don't want to spill the beans, but she's got an incredible story. She's a very brave woman, and she's a truck driver. And so I would be so thrilled. And we're going to try and get her scheduled to get her on the show because I think she has an incredible story that can resonate with both male and female truck drivers. So I think she would be cool.
Justin was just saying, when we meet Diva sisters out there, that we should gift them with a little Diva gift and make them like honorary members. Not that they're, we're all sisters, but that's kind of a neat idea.
That's a great idea. That's
right.
a really, we need a great idea. Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, we need, that's a good thing. The 5 of us need to get together and find out a cool gift that we could purchase like in bulk. That would be a great idea.
Yeah.
And speaking of ideas, I wanted to mention why Lori's not here tonight. I'm so glad she did. They are in Vegas for the weekend. And for those of you who don't know, James and Larry both are huge Raider fans. And I had taken Larry a couple months ago to the Raider Stadium. And so we told James and Lori all about it. And we were like, if you get to Vegas, you got to take James because it was worth the money. So that's what they're doing. They're having a day date, spending the day. They went to KFC earlier. And but now they're at the stadium getting ready to do the stadium tour. So I could not be more excited. He's going to love that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited for him.
Yes.
Totally.
And we have more exciting news. So the other exciting news is on Wednesday afternoon, we're going to start having a Trucker Safety Diva show. And it's going to be just a very casual show. Pretty much whoever's available will be on the show. So the cool thing about it is the host will always change. It's going to be some administrators, some moderators, or just some regular divas joining us. But it'll be hosted by Kathy Cutler. And it'll be every Wednesday. I think we were talking noon. So it'll be starting this Wednesday. And just be kind of like a midweek catch up. We can tell you about everything that's going to be going on this weekend. If there's any news that's happened in the trucking industry, we'll talk about it then. But it'll be a great way to get some other divas on the show too and do kind of a midweek catch up. So I think that's going to be cool. And Catherine, I wanted to throw it to you since Ashley's not here. You want to tell everybody about your new show that you're doing with Ashley on Sundays and where we can find it and all that good stuff.
Sure. So I wish she was here. I feel like she's my partner in crime anymore.
I know.
But so we decided to do our own show, and it is called Trucker Cancer Queens because we are both cancer survivors. I am still fighting my battle, but I still consider myself a survivor because I'm not going to think the other way. Just not going to do it. So we have developed our own show. It was Sunday nights at 7 p.m. Central Time. Yes. And we are really going to try and tackle medical issues, so the cancer, from the cancer perspective, right? But we're also going to talk about trucking issues, and we're going to try and keep it real and, not unfiltered, so to speak, so that, we're not biased. We're just sharing our thoughts with you all. We want to know what you all think, and I think our, the basis is everybody's got an opinion, and that's totally okay. Just respect those opinions. And
absolutely,
we want to stress that in our show that, it's okay to have a healthy discussion about something that you may not agree about with each other about. And Ashley and I have had those discussions, and it's okay because we respect each other. So we want to just make that, we want to make sure people know that that's the kind of stuff you're going to get, that you're going to hear. And no, you may not agree with us, but respect us.
Exactly.
So
Those are
individuals. Yep.
And vice versa. So
yep. Excellent. I feel like I've missed so much being in school. Like I'm just now hearing about the show on Wednesday, which I won't be able to be a part of because I'll be in school. I may be able to pop on depending on my lunch for a few minutes here and there, but I can't say that I'll be able to join for an extended period of time. Congratulations, Catherine, on your show. I've sort of seen a little bit about that. I'm excited to be a part of that. And I'm sorry, you guys, if I've missed a lot. It's been kind of a crazy month. So
getting your trucking license is kind of a big deal.
I know, but so is our group and so is our sisterhood. And I feel like I feel like I've missed a lot. So
me too. This last 2 weeks with COVID, I feel like I have missed a ton too. But the nice thing about the Wednesday show is what's going to be nice for like you and I when we get on the road is if we have time on a Wednesday, we can pop in on the show. You don't have to stay the whole time. It's going to be a lot more casual, but it'll be a nice way so that we can see other divas. And, if you've got time, you can be on the show. If I've got time, I can be on the show. And bring on some regular people too. So it'll be kind of a fun, casual show. So we'll see how it goes. But I know some of the people were asking for a midweek show. We figured Wednesday's a good time slot. So we'll do Wednesday at noon and see how it goes.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Could be a huge turnout. Could be an awesome thing.
Yes. And we're working on a few more things in the background, which we don't want to say yet. Go ahead. What were you saying,
no,
Catherine?
I was just laughing because where we're parked at this truck stop, I am so sorry, truckers out there. So I know you're not, hush. we are parked at, I don't know, this truck stop is really screwed up. But where we're parked, he's actually semi-blocking the trucking sign, and you can kind of see it behind me over my shoulder there. But that's where the truck entrance is, except we're in the little truck. We're not in the big truck. We're in the little truck. But I don't think they can see the truck entrance sign, so they're all turning in front of us. And I'm like, Ron, can't you just go park where the cars go? He's like, no. He's a truck driver and wants to park with the rest of the big trucks, I think.
Yep.
That would be something Justin would do.
Yeah.
What's a trucker always a trucker?
It's a guy trucker thing, right? It's not just
doesn't matter the size, right? Okay, no, size doesn't matter when it comes to truckers.
Because we're at the end of this is all trucks next to me going down that way, down that way, and the Catskills are right there, and there's this little entrance exit I think next to the Catskills, and they're all going in that way, and I'm like, oh my gosh, would you just go park over there?
Always causing problems, I swear to God.
Oh, always.
Leave it to the men.
So Elizabeth said, hey ladies, how's everyone doing today? You're all amazing. Thank you for helping me get through things when my husband was in the hospital with COVID. I love you all. Oh. Our pleasure, Elizabeth.
Thank you, Elizabeth. I'm glad you're here with us.
Yeah, her husband was in the hospital last week with COVID.
I hope he's doing better.
Yeah, at the same time Larry and I were battling COVID, poor thing.
I just keep knocking on wood, you guys. I just keep knocking on wood. I am trying to be so careful. So careful. Yeah.
My mom and dad have it.
No.
I'm very worried about my dad. My mom is doing a lot better, but she's been sick for 2 weeks. And my dad, she said, is not near as bad as she was, but he's also got a lot more health problems. So
right.
I was reading something that they said that they are expecting by June of this year that they expect that 90% of the population will have had some form of the COVID variant. And I'm
I
like,
will
I
be in
believe
that
it.
5% that does not. I am praying.
I
I
don't
haven't
wish
had
on anybody. Seriously.
My trainer that I'm working with now got sick in November and is still having residual. He said just within the last like month he's regained his sense of smell and so just now kind of getting back to what he knows as normalcy. So he's been dealing with a lot of residual effects and some, the cough long lasting. Some
Yeah.
days are better than others. Some days really just wear him out. So it's crazy to me that it can last that long.
Yeah, Pam Dixon says that her mom is 91, triple vaccinated, and has COVID. I mean, it's insane.
Bless her
It
heart.
doesn't seem to matter if you have the vaccination or not. However, the doctors, as you can hear poor Larry back there, our doctor told us that had we not had the vaccination, then it probably would have been way worse than what we went through. And I'm sitting here thinking, oh my God, it was horrible. I can't imagine.
Right.
So before we get into our topic for tonight, just to tell you how bored I've been all week, we haven't been had the energy to do much. We get tired very easy and we sleep a lot. But I've been bored off my butt. And so my daughters are trying to help us with social media because, I'm old. I don't understand social media. I don't understand all this crap. And so they've been yelling at me for months. You got to do TikTok, Mom. You got to do TikTok. And I'm like, to me, what scares the hell out of me about TikTok is you gotta have no inhibitions, no anything. You just gotta, it's kind of like you gotta be crazy. And that's not me. I'm like, I got insecurities.
I'm super
from hell.
reserved. Yeah.
Yes, I'm too reserved. So my daughter's been helping me all week. So anyway, I was gonna share a cute little video that we did this week real quick. It was called the Salt and Pepper Challenge. And so I'll play that real quick and then we'll come right back. It was pretty funny.
All right, Cowboy Larry, I got a challenge for you. I want you to separate the salt and the pepper.
Just separate it?
Yeah, separate the salt from the pepper. How is that separating it?
It's all separated.
You just made a mess on the floor. I can't believe you just did that.
It's all separated.
Oh my God, I cannot believe you just did that.
No, it's not right.
No! Separate the salt from the pepper! Not throw it on the ground!
How's that?
Much
Separated.
Yeah, you threw all the salt and pepper on the
I got
ground.
the pepper on this side, the salt on this side, so they're separated. I know. Divorce.
Oh my God.
Character.
Okay, so yeah, my husband's a nutcase. So the whole point of that was he didn't know what I was going to do. And so I'd seen other people's reactions. So I had no idea that he was going to throw salt and pepper all over the floor. But the purpose was, I figured he's so OCD that when I told him to separate the salt and pepper, he would have immediately separated the salt and pepper shakers because he's just that way. And when he did that, I was like, I was not expecting that.
Oh my gosh.
So anyway, we posted lots of TikTok videos, so you guys can find us Married to the Road on TikTok. But just remember, these videos are really hard for me to do, so you got to give me some hearts. Let me know if they're okay, because, man, I'll tell you what, I did one this morning, you girls saw it. I was like, I second-guessed myself the entire day. I wanted to delete it.
No.
Definitely not. Put it out there. And I go number 1 all the way.
I liked 3. I thought 3 was pretty sexy there. So.
Yeah, it was different. So, yeah, so for those of you guys, I do want to explain one thing. Last night when the guys were doing their show, and there was a point where Larry was all distracted over what I looked like.
Oh, God.
And so everybody thought I was naked in the background. I wasn't naked. I had put one of those wigs on, so that's why he was like...
That's great.
Yeah, so pretty much I did a TikTok video because there's a new trend on TikTok where female truckers are buying wigs to put on, so because that way it's less for them to do as far as getting ready. And I was like, well, that's kind of smart because then you're not holding up the truck stops. showers, and you're not having to spend hours upon hours curling and doing your hair. You can just throw a damn wig on. So that's what my video's on. I bought some wigs and it's pretty funny.
I love it. It was awesome.
Yes. So Catherine disappeared. I think maybe her friend's there.
Maybe. I'm excited to see how that goes for her.
I am too. She's so excited. So this month she's met Lori and now she's met Myrna. So
I'm back. Sorry.
She couldn't handle the TikTok. It just got her all excited. She had to just take a breath for a second.
I know. Michael,
I was laughing and my finger hit the leave button. Sorry.
I've done that
You
before.
nutty little fruitcake. Mike said, Larry Baum, you nutty little fruitcake.
And Kathy Kettler said, "Oh my God, I just had to explain the salt and pepper." I know. We keep going across all these videos. It's like, okay, what ones can we do? What ones can we do? And my daughter's like, she's trying to get us to dance. Larry did a dance video this week. I'm
Hysterical.
like, it's like 2 tries. I'm like, how do you do that? I have 2 left feet.
Hysterical.
Yeah.
I was cracking up, literally, LOL, lol, literally, like literally. It was funny.
Oh God. So the topic tonight we were going to talk about was emergency situations that happen and we're over the road. And there's all kinds of emergency situations. Like last week for us, it was a health situation. It could be somebody died in your family, or maybe your kids have a school function that you need to get back to. And so it's a lot more difficult as a truck driver to try to handle those emergencies when they arise, because depending on what you're hauling and where you're at and how so for example, Larry and I, when we got COVID, we've been sick for about a week before I actually went to the doctors and got tested. And I got tested last Saturday, came back that I had influenza A and COVID. Now, anybody else, they could have called into work and said, okay, I'm not coming to work. Well, we were under a government load. And so we had to find a place. Well, first they tried to get a truck driver to come get our load and to finish it for us. It was going to Nevada. There was nobody available. So the only choice we had was we had to drive 7.5 hours away from where we were at. We were home to take our trailer to Oklahoma, drop off the trailer in a safe facility, and then drive 7.5 hours to get home. Now, mind you, we were sick as could be. Honestly, we had no business being on the road. So that 15-hour trip wound up taking us almost 30 hours because we had to keep stopping and taking stops and rest. So, that's one of the things you don't think about when you're a truck driver and you're over the road and you become sick. If you're underneath a secured load like what we are or what we were, it makes things much more difficult. Has either of your guys experienced where they've been sick like that on the road and couldn't work for a day?
Not. I don't know. I know, like Justin mentioned last night on the show, the December before COVID became like this big, huge deal. He was down. He was sick for probably a good 2 weeks, but he still had to run. I mean, his 34, he was literally like half dead in bed kind of thing. And just took advantage of that time off, but he still had to keep going. I mean, like you said, when you have a load, there are receivers that are waiting. There's a time frame, you know what I mean? Like that you're under a time restriction. You can't just say, well, I don't want to do this right now. Like, I'm just going to take a week off. No, like it doesn't work that way. And I think, sometimes I haven't been out there, but I think as a truck driver, what I anticipate as a truck driver, you have to just push through it. You can't just stop. You have to keep going. But other than that, I had we had a personal situation with one of my children. Where were we? Were we in Texas? Were we in Texas when Reagan had her issue? We were somewhere, and it was pretty late at night, and my daughter had a seizure type episode out of the blue. Doesn't have a history, none of that, but she had some funky little things going on, and luckily Justin's dispatcher was going to go ahead and get us home, but it still would have taken us X amount of days to get there. And with the hospitals now, you're going in solo. I couldn't be there to support her. I couldn't even wait in the emergency room with her. So, I mean, it was one of those like catch-22 situations. Like, do we hurry up and head home, or do I wait and see what happens? And I just kind of waited it out, and luckily she's okay. But it was pretty scary for a minute because I was like, I need to get home. We were looking at flights. We were looking at, you know, all different options, and just it would have taken days for me to get home. You know what I mean? And I didn't have with me what I would have needed to fly. There was no way for me to get vaccinated and tested within 72 hours. Like, so my hands were tied. I was on the road, you know, 100+ miles away from her, hundreds of miles away from her. And I literally was in contact with my other daughter, with Cass. Just, how is she doing? What's going on? Like, keep me updated. So like, if I have to get off this truck, and then of course, trying to find a rental car, impossible. You can't. They're not available. So scary.
That was one of the things. So I had mentioned it, and I need to find the link and put it up in Trucker Safety Divas. And we've talked a lot about Truckers Final Mile, but Truckers Final Mile is a really amazing nonprofit organization that's run by truck drivers. But the one thing that they're known for the most is that if a truck driver dies out on the road, and the company will not pay to have that truck driver sent home to his family members, that's where Truckers Final Mile steps in, and that's kind of what they're known for. But they do a lot more than that. But
I got goosebumps.
When I interviewed Robert, who's the head of it, and he's the main person who started this, and he's also a truck driver himself, one of the things he brought up, which I thought was genius, and Larry and I are actually getting ready to implement it, is to have a separate debit card. A debit card that you stick a little bit of money into every single Friday. A debit card that you stick in the back of your wallet and you don't ever use. And you have it set up so that you take like $25 or $50 out every single week. You dump your money into this account and it's there. And the reason you do that is in case of an emergency, so that you have a backup method of, should something happen, you've got a backup resource out there on the road. So like in your instance, if you need to get a plane ticket, or if you needed to get a rental car, or you need to do something, you're not having to dig into your own personal account to get the money. So, and I thought that was a great idea.
Yeah. I mean, we've got a little bit here and a little bit there, but not something that is what's the word I'm looking for? Like immediately accessed at that moment. There's waiting times for deposit, 2-3 days, you know what I mean? And sometimes you just don't have that. So that's a really good idea. I think once I get out there, we may try to, discuss that. Put a little bit, even if, like you said, $25 a week.
I think it's a good idea, because you never know when emergencies are going to arise, and so you want to make sure that you have a little bit of something put away to the side.
So Amber is messaging through our Diva chat, and she's saying that none of her comments are coming through. Amber, I'm sorry about that. I don't know kind of what's going on, but she's like, y'all can't see anything I'm saying.
Oh, I've actually posted 2 of them up on the screen.
I haven't seen any of them.
Yeah,
well, I'm just now hearing you for the first time in like 5 minutes.
Hey, girls.
Oh, so now I can hear you again. Yay!
Oh, good. I'm glad you can hear me. I don't put every comment up on the screen.
It's okay.
You can still see them in the background.
Oh.
I don't put every comment up on the screen. I just kind of pick and choose who I put up on the screen. But yeah, I am seeing your comments, Amber.
Broadcast.
Oh, I see. Okay, Justin had to give me a little tutorial.
I did want to let you. So we actually had a situation with Ron. He had an allergic reaction when he was driving.
Oh no!
So that was pretty scary. We were in Massachusetts. That's right. I was not. No, I was at home. And he calls me and he's like, I'm eating cashews. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, and my throat's itchy. And I'm like, oh. And then he took pictures of his arm. And I was like, you need to call 911. Hang up with me. Call 911. By the time they got there, his throat had swelled shut and they had to give him an EpiPen. He was pulled over on the side of the road, thank you God. And
Oh my gosh.
they took him to the ER and they kept him, in an ambulance and everything. He was there for 6 hours. He had to get an Uber back to the truck.
Yep.
So it's a scary thought, and it can happen. I mean, the other medical emergency he was thankfully at home for when he had his heart attack. So, but I think about thinking, what if he had been behind the wheel and he had that heart attack? There's no way he would have survived either the heart attack or the crash.
Absolutely.
So,
and I think that's the other thing is, like you were talking about the Uber ride. I mean, that was one of the things that we had to think about when I went to go get COVID tested was, well, you can't get a truck into most hospitals or doctor's office or urgent clinics. So when you're a truck driver, you've got to think about this. Okay, well, I need to be seen. Most truck stops do not have a clinic. Some do, but it's very rare. So how do I get my truck into the clinic to be seen? Where do I go? So a lot of times it does take an Uber ride or a Lyft ride to get to where you're going. Then you got to get your prescriptions. That's another Uber or Lyft ride. So all that stuff really adds up. And so if you don't have a little emergency savings account, then you're dipping into your regular money to try to pay for, or having to see if you can get somebody to send you money. It's much harder to do stuff on the road. The other thing is, because we push ourselves so much, and I know this drives my mother insane, like you were saying, Chris, we don't get an option to take a day off if we're sick. If we're sick, the load's still got to get there. The load's still got to run. Excuse me. And so we don't get the option to take a day off. And
we're home.
I just realized Chris left and the feedback's way better. I don't hear myself anymore. So I think it is her feedback. Are you still able to hear me, Catherine?
Yep, I can hear you, but you are frozen a lot of the time.
Oh no. What is up with this? Can you check?
But now there's no feedback and there's no echo.
I'm gonna have them check our internet. So, anyway, how are you? Sorry, Amber's asking how I am feeling. I'm feeling better, just very tired. Went it easy and very tired. Excuse me.
Myrna's here.
Oh.
Until February 6th.
I just got real excited. Sorry.
Well, go see Myrna. Go see Myrna. Go and Chris and I will hang out. If you want to come back, you can come back.
Okay. I love you guys.
Bye, Catherine. Let her know.
I'll talk to you guys later.
All right.
She's a mess. I love it.
I know.
You know what's funny? So just saying, it seemed like, because I was sitting backstage waiting for you to re-accept me back in. And when you guys were saying, oh, I have no feedback, I wonder if it's because I was gone. I don't know.
But see, now I hear fine. So I don't know what it was. Maybe it could have been Catherine too. I don't know.
I wonder if multiple devices or like multiple people in the room had, I don't know. I don't really know. You know what I mean? But I wonder if that has something to do with it.
I'm going to mess with Restream tomorrow and see if we can't find a better option, because StreamYard doesn't seem to be cutting it. And if I'm going to be paying money every month for a software program, I want it to work for everybody. So,
of course.
Restream might be better.
Lori said, hey, ladies, I miss you all. And Amber said, I'm not frozen to her. Okay. But what I was talking about, Chris, when you were gone was we were talking about how it's so hard for us to sometimes get the health care that we need. And I think that's why so many truck drivers wind up getting ill on the road and dying and everything else, because they're not able to take those days off that they need to get better.
Well, and I mean, you're probably right about that. And I, I'm here, even though you can't see me, obviously, but I think that's part of it. You guys run and run and run, and this is going to be me very shortly, but they run and run and run and run and run. And some people say, oh, well, 10 hours a day, that's not a lot. Well, but it is a lot when you're not able to just lay down and go to sleep, when you have, pets to take care of, or you have your partners to take care of, or there are other factors in that. It's one thing to come down with a cold and be able to stop what you're doing and go rest, or take cold medicine that may make you drowsy. Or, you know, a lot of these cold medicines have diphenhydramine in them, and diphenhydramine will make you sleepy. And you can't, you know, as truck drivers, we can't be sleepy. We have to be alert at all times and aware of our surroundings at all times. So I think, you know, you just, as drivers, we get burnt out, you know, and we just don't have that recuperation period and that reset that a lot of other people can take advantage of.
Exactly. Sheila was saying that, sorry.
Okay, Larry.
God,
hopefully his lungs are still in his body.
I know, poor guy. She said drivers run their butts off, and it's no wonder they get sick. It's so true. We work. That's why I always laugh when people bitch about, oh my God, I have to work 40 hours this week. I'm like, I wish I could work 40 hours a week. I work 10 to 14 hours a day.
Well, it's down. The entire crypto crashed over 205 billion.
That's fine.
Are you having issues?
No, I have a chatty, I almost said a chatty husband in my ear, but we're not quite there yet. But I have a chatty mister asking me questions.
I got one right next to me too. Lori said, okay, I love you all, but I've got to go. Really enjoying our date night. Thank you, ladies. You really need this. Have fun, Lori. Make sure we want to see lots of pictures and know all about the stadium tour.
Yes, and enjoy each other. Have fun. You're off the truck. Enjoy the air and just enjoy each other. That's the best rejuvenation ever.
We were supposed to go back to work on Monday, and unfortunately, he has refrigerated medication that we have to get, and it didn't get here today, and they can't ship it out until Monday, which means we won't get it till Tuesday. And I was kind of ticked off about that at the beginning. But then after I went to the grocery store today, and just going to the grocery store winded me out so bad, I'm like, okay, maybe we do need a couple extra days off. This is really seriously kicking my butt. When all I can do is sit on a bar stool chair or lay in bed. That's about the consent. Just doing dishes winds me out.
That's so awful. I'm glad you're feeling better, though. I mean, better than you were. Maybe not 100%. And from what I hear, there's a chance you may not get back to 100% pre-sickness. But
yes,
as long as you're feeling better, that's all you can ask for, you know?
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I thought about it, but I'll be honest, we haven't taken any preparations, is when we got sick out on the road, there was a point there where we were both very, very sick. And honestly, we probably should have been seen, but we were stubborn and we didn't know where to go. We didn't know where to get our truck in to be seen. And we're like, well, what if we get hospitalized? We don't know how bad our COVID is. And what if we get hospitalized? Well, then who's going to take care of our dogs? And we were up in Pennsylvania when we first got really, really bad. So, I mean, that's another issue when you're out on the road. You know, a lot of times, and I've heard all kinds of things talking to different truckers throughout the years, as far as what happens if they get sick or they get into an accident to their animals. Right. A lot of times what happens is if you don't have somebody that can come get your dog or cat or whatever animal you have on the truck, and say you're involved in an accident or you got sick or whatever, most of the time what happens is the police departments will get a hold of, I don't want to say a shelter, but animal rescue. Yep. They usually use animal rescue groups to come out and help take your animal for you while you recover. So while it's not an ideal thing, of course, for you being a pet owner, you know, if you can make other arrangements, that's always a good thing. And then the other thing that we do, which we've done ever since we got our passports, because Canada requires that we have health records on our dogs. They have to be international health records. So always make sure that you have current records of your insurance card, your health records, your doctors, your contacts, your family members, your veterinary records, your veterinary phone numbers. These are all important things that you should have in a folder that's easily accessible. So should something happen to you, you can give that information to a police officer, ambulance worker, or something if you're not able to communicate that information with them. You can even do a photocopy of your insurance card to keep in that folder. But that way you have everything in one location, one place. So if an emergency arises, you know where it's at. We have our passport on the truck, our birth certificate, our driver's licenses, all of our important information and documents are on the truck with us at all times. So we always try to keep it in one place.
Justin has a folder that we got from the vet for Rio, and it's got from his very first appointment to, his updated rabies, his shot record, his weight, all on their office summaries or like visit summaries, if you will. All the information's on there. I believe their phone number is on there. All of that. And we also have him registered because we have Rio microchipped. And with that microchip, you can register them with AKC Reunite. So we have him also registered there. So if gosh forbid he were to get out, Justin and I witnessed something on the road, and these individuals, their small dog got out. So long story short, we were coming across I-40 from New Mexico, right? And when we saw that rollovers, okay, so long story short, we were coming from New Mexico, I believe, going towards Texas. Forgive me if I'm way out of line, but we saw a small little pickup truck. He lost control. He got back on the medium, came back and flipped. And so Justin pulled the truck over. He called 911. He went up there and like sat with everybody. And of course, a lot of them don't speak very good English in that area because it's a Spanish, primarily Spanish speaking area. And their dog got out. So they had to notify the farmers. They had to notify, it was a process, but having your dogs microchipped and registered could potentially ease that search. So we have Rio microchipped as well, just God forbid anything happens to him.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I knew this was going to happen. I have never had mice in my house ever, not ever. We came home after being gone since Christmas, and we have mice in our house. And so Larry went tonight before the show and got some mouse traps. And I told him, I said, don't put out the mouse traps until after the show, because my luck is going to be that in the middle of the show, that damn thing's going to go off. Oh, no, outside with that thing. Oh. Yeah, he got one. He's taking it outside. I'm telling your story, and I heard the mousetrap go.
You know what's really good for catching mice? Peanut butter.
What? Oh, you put cheese on it. Peanut butter is a good idea.
Peanut butter. Yep. And the glue traps also.
We were trying to think of ways that, wouldn't harm the dog. So we just got the regular ones with cheese on it.
Excellent. Yeah, the glue traps, they're kind of rotten. But chopping their neck in half or having them suffocate in glue, like what are the less of the two evils? But that's what I always used to use was glue traps.
Yeah, I tried to get glue traps. They were out. And I was like, we wanted to try to get them taken care of before we left. I'm like, oh my God, we came home to such a mess. They're underneath our kitchen sink, and our bottom cabinets is where we've seen them at. I've seen two. Now we're down to one.
Yep.
Oh gosh.
Yep. But peanut butter is really good if the cheese stops working, because they're smart little buggers. And if the cheese stops working, or they find a way to nibble around it and they leave just a little bit in that trap, peanut butter.
Yep. Amber said, I am taking care of a 7-year-old, a 6-month-old, and a 75-year-old when I came down with COVID. I'm glad you all didn't get it as bad as I did. Oh, yeah. I would not want to have to try to care for somebody else and have COVID.
You sound horrible, just so you know.
Yeah, I get tired so easy, and the congestion.
No. Robot voice.
I mean robot voice.
Robot voice.
She said.
Hold on, let me go out and come back in. Sorry.
You're good. I don't know what you did or what you didn't do, but it's you sound better.
Would you stop coughing, damn it?
Sorry, I ran all the way across the room.
Okay, Lori said fatigue is the lingering and worst part of it. See, that's what I hope not, because I'm so tired, and I'm a very energetic person. I like to get up and go and do things.
And the headaches.
And the headaches. Yeah, I don't think I've had a day without a headache since I first got sick, and it's been almost 14 days.
Jeez.
Yeah, horrible headaches, like so bad. Dawn said that COVID takes all of your energy and it does take a long time to get it back. And Ashley said the issue to be concerned with is with animal rescue, is with my mom previously being an animal control assistant warden, is that sometimes they'll take them and adopt them, even though knowing they're supposed to keep them temporarily. So be very careful who you give them to in emergency situation. Yeah, I
That's
can see
horrible.
that. That's very horrible. I don't know what I'd do if somebody did that to my dogs. God help them. Kathy said Diesel is also microchipped and he's AKC registered as well. So are mine too.
Yep.
Let's see. Mike said peanut butter is very good for it. I can't believe I knew we were going to get that mouse in the middle of the show. I just knew it. Oh gosh. Okay, sorry, I'm trying to catch up on all these. Yes, there must be a hole that the mice are getting in. I don't know where they're getting in, but that is Larry's job, and he's gonna work on that probably tomorrow. He hasn't felt good enough to kind of walk around and figure out where they're coming in from. So
Usually it'll be under your sink, like where your plumbing is.
yeah,
Brillo pads, like, or you know, like the chore boys, they're like
yes,
metal, but they're like a
yeah,
scrubber.
yeah.
That kind of stuff will also prevent them, or I don't want to say prevent them, but it will hopefully minimize their
Them
entry.
coming.
Something about it, they don't like I mean, I wouldn't want to chew metal either, but like they won't
Yeah,
chew
and
through it.
that's where I'm hearing them at. So yeah, that's probably where they're coming in. Never, and you know what it is while we were gone, they removed the house next to us.
So there's probably mice there.
And the house was so bad, like so bad, like a hoarder's house.
Oh.
So I'm assuming what happened is they left that house and said, we're going to come over here.
I got a nice clean house to live in and I got an entry and I'll be warm. Yeah.
The bad thing is there's like no food in my house because we're never home.
Right.
So I guess they went to a warm place. Let's see. Amber said, try to take it easy for a bit. It will take a bit for your energy to come back. Absolutely. Steel wool. That's what Joyce was saying. That's what you were talking about. Steel
That's
wool.
what I was thinking of. Yep.
Amber or Ashley says, my mom has a manufactured home in the country and they can get in under the skirt portion of the home. Yeah, that's what we're in. We're in a manufactured home too. And so I'm sure it's probably underneath the house somewhere that they're getting in. The metal gets stuck in their teeth, said Amber. Oh, see, I'm learning all kinds of new things about mice.
They're smart.
They can get into a hole the size of a pencil eraser. Okay, that's just disgusting. Thinking about their tiny little bodies getting into a hole.
Because they can squash. I forget what
Vertebrae collapse.
Vertebrae collapse.
Yeah, like they squish. They can flatten themselves out. Oh gosh. I've had mice, so I understand the struggle. I used to blame it on my kids. Why are you guys leaving all the crumbs in the bread drawer? And they're like, Mom, what are you talking about? You're crazy. And then I opened the bread drawer and I was like, okay, I get it. Now I'm sorry.
It was so funny. My daughter Tori, I told her tonight when I was talking to her, I was like, yeah, I said, we've got mice. And she's like, she goes, we never had mice when I lived there. I'm like, well, like I invited the mice in. I don't know what to tell you.
Yes.
Oh gosh.
Time to evict their little butts. I
know. The other thing, what we've mentioned many times on the show, and I'll just keep mentioning it because it's a great thing, is Live 360. Apologize, guys.
Lay down.
Okay, so Live 360 is a free app you guys can download from the Google Store or Apple Play Store. We are all connected on it. So like I can look on Live 360 right now and I can tell you exactly where Chris and Justin are at. They're at home.
It's funny because if we leave, it'll say Justin has left home or Justin has left. And when we drive, Justin has arrived. I'm like, oh, babe, you've arrived.
And it even tells us, like, with my daughter, it'll say Tori's phone is down to 9% and tell her to charge it.
Yep.
But it's a great app. It's great if you have a trucker that's in your family to use it, but also if you travel, maybe your RVers, it's a good app for you too. Or I always say if you have teenagers, it's a great app because you can keep track of where your kids are at. But Life 360 is a free app. When we're talking about medical emergencies on the road or sorry. After I get to talking for a while, it makes me start coughing. But if you haven't heard from your trucker in a while and maybe they're sick or you're worried that something's happened to them, Life 360 is great because it'll give you the exact location of where they're at so that you can have emergency personnel do a safety welfare check on them. So definitely look into it if somebody travels in your family or you're worried about being able to get in contact with someone. It's a free app and it's a great service. And then you can choose who you allow into your inner circle as far as who will have that information to locate you.
I think it's awesome. I'm glad that I downloaded it and I'm part of it. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And we talked about the budget for emergencies, insurance information. So pretty much, I mean, the biggest thing is every trucking company is going to be different as far as how you can handle emergencies. Yes. And it all depends on, the biggest thing is, are you under a load? In other words, is your trailer loaded? Do you have things in there? Well, then that changes the dynamics of your emergency situation too. But make sure you have an emergency folder that's easily accessible to you in the driver's seat, where you can put photocopies of your insurance information, your driver's license, passport, your vet records, doctor's information, family contacts, friend contacts, because if you become incapacitated or you are not able to talk, but maybe you can reach for that folder to give to emergency personnel, they'll know who to get in contact with to let them know that an emergency situation has happened with you. And then make plans. Make plans for your pets. I mean, those are important too. Like Ashley was saying, the Humane Society is not always the best option, and you never know what's going to happen. So try to have a backup person that if you get into an accident or you get sick out there on the road, maybe a family member or a friend that can come to your location to get your animal so that they're not in trouble as well. So, which is kind of hard to do when you travel all over,
I was going to say there's limits to that though. Like it's good in theory, but like I can tell you that nobody that I know is going to be able to just pick up and drive to, New Mexico to come get one of our animals or come get Rio, It depends on where you're at, and my family is not scattered like some people have family kind of, all over the United States, here, there, and everywhere. And that would be super beneficial. But yeah.
Yeah, we've had emergencies on the road where we've actually had to find like an emergency vet for the dogs. That was when we were in Amarillo, Texas. And that's hard too, because a lot of vets offices, you can't get a full semi-truck into. So trucking does make things a lot more difficult, trying to get into the doctor's office or trying to get into an urgent care situation or trying to find a vet's office that you can get to. A lot of times when we've been in situations like that, where we've had to go to an urgent care or something like that, we'll even park a couple blocks away, like in a mall or something, and walk to the doctor's office or something. Because, sometimes you can't find a semi-truck parking in that area. So it can be hard. Yep. And Kathy said that her honey likes to stalk her on Life 360.
I've heard that before. Justin will be like, "Why are you stalking me?" Or he'll be like, "Why are you here? And why have you been there for this amount of time?" And I'm like, "What? Oh, 360. I forgot."
Yep. And Gary Hodgkins said, so Gary, that's a great suggestion. However, there's one flaw with that, is we have found out that our little neighbor Lisa that watches our house for us, we have a black kitten that's living underneath our trailer that's very skittish. So you would think that black kitten would be getting my damn mouses. But anyway, I don't want to throw any poison underneath my trailer because I don't want to kill that little kitten that's living underneath there. I try to get him to come out, but he's very skittish. So, but yeah, you would think living underneath there, he'd take care of my mice for me. Okay, sorry. Elizabeth said, when my husband got sick, his company was so awesome. They made sure that his safety came first before anything else. They also made sure that if I needed anything while he was in the hospital, and they told me to let them know. I'm glad that some companies treat their truckers like family and not just a number. And I think that's so important. I've always said from day one, don't work for a company where you're just a number and you're nothing more than a number to them. I don't like working for a company like that. I want to be, I'm Angie and I'm one of your truck drivers.
Uh-huh. Right. I'm not just pulling truck number 25 and trailer number, whatever. Like, I'm valuable and I matter and my presence means something. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Oh gosh. Well, I know it's been almost an hour and we went from 3 down to 2. So Catherine, I'm sure, is going to have lots of pictures. She went to go meet Myrna, another truck driver. And actually, Myrna's going to stay the night with her tonight in Pennsylvania.
Excellent.
And so, yeah, so they're going to, I'm sure they'll post some pictures. And then Lori and James are in Vegas and they're having a day date, or now it's a night date, but they're just hanging out and doing things. But just a couple of quick reminders before we get ready to end the show. Chris has her last week of training with her CDL school this week. So keep her in your thoughts and prayers that everything's going to go well.
Please, 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 please.
Do you know when you're going to test out when you go to the DMV?
Nope. About the only thing I know about testing out is it's sometime this week, and we have already driven the tightest turn in our test.
Oh, good.
So that's it's very helpful. And thankfully now, so we have two different size trailers. That we have a 48-foot trailer that a couple of people in our group are driving, full sleepers, same truck. We're driving Cascadias. But my truck is a 53-foot trailer. Now, I know for some, they're like, oh, that's only 5 feet. Okay, well, 5 feet can mean the difference of curbing it or not curbing it. Absolutely. And that's the big thing. As long as we don't curb and we don't drive like a bunch of maniacs and we stop appropriately and, kind of, do all the normal road manners, if you will, we should be fine. But 5 feet makes a difference. With me pulling out, I've had to pull out just a little bit further. I've had to, go into my turn and stay a little wider in that turn before bringing it back over, because it takes a little bit longer.
It does.
But yeah, so with that being said, that's helpful to know that turn is in our test, but I don't know exactly what day. It could be split up between Thursday and Friday.
Have you noticed driving in your own personal vehicle yet? Are you at the point yet where you're starting to take really wide turns even in your personal vehicle?
I would say yes, but not in the sense of because I'm used to driving the semi. It's more practice for me in my brain. So like this particular turn, it's on a like a 1-lane divided road. The right-hand side is parking, but then there's a bicycle lane that sort of separates the lane and the like where the cars park. So taking this turn the other day, I'm going to bring Reagan to work, and I'm like, okay, I have to remember I need to keep my left-hand trailer tires in the bike lane on the white line, but not over the white line, and don't turn before, so like certain things, I'm kind of, as I'm going around these turns, I'm picturing being in the truck so that it sort of gets me to the mindset that I need to be. One of the biggest things is going from the truck to the Altima, because we drive an Altima. It's like, you're like this and then you're like this.
Yes.
It's like,
I always feel like a little bug that somebody can run over and squish, and I'm in a damn SUV, but yeah, I get it.
Yes. So that transition is interesting. And I used to pick on Justin all the time because I'd be like, babe, you're not in the semi. Why are you going so wide, around the turns? And I'm eating my own words. I get it now.
Yeah.
I get it
The
now.
first time I ever had to take, I think it was last year, my mom and dad needed a ride to the airport, and I happened to be home. I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll give you a ride. So my mom sat out front with me, and my dad sat in the back. And the whole time, it's like a 45-minute drive to get to the airport. My dad didn't say a damn thing to me. Mom and I were just chit-chatting. About 5 minutes before we get to the airport, he's like, can I just tell you? He's like, I don't ever like sitting in the back seat of anybody's car, and I don't like anybody else driving. He's like, but you're a damn good driver. He's like, you use your turn signal, you're watching your mirrors. He's like, I just have to tell you, he goes, man, I felt safe and comfortable in your car. I'm like, well, Dad, I do it for a living. But it was pretty cool. It's like your dad told you that. I'm like, yeah, that's me.
Yep. I'm way more aware of things. Not that I wasn't before, because I'm not a bad driver. I don't speed.
Yes.
I've never got a ticket.
It just makes you a much better driver and more aware of your surroundings, I think.
Yep. And I'm much more aware of the other truck drivers. Again, not that I wasn't before, but
yes.
It's just knowing
how much space I need on the road. And then when I'm in my personal vehicle, I know how much space they need on the road. You know, I make sure to stop before those white lines. They're there for a reason. You know, little things like that. But yeah, definitely have a heightened awareness for sure.
Yes. Yeah, and I still I've been driving for 6 years now, and right-hand turns still scare the bejesus out of me. I don't think that'll ever change, but I think that's a good thing though, because even though it still scares me, I know I can handle any right turn that I come across. But it also makes me kind of calm down, breathe, assess the area. Where do I need to be? Where does my trailer need to be? So I've been doing it for 6 years, and as soon as he tells me you got a right turn coming, I'm like, oh God, is it a hairpin turn or is it going to be a comfortable turn I can make it around?
Right. When in doubt, wait it out. I mean, when in doubt, wait it out. You know? And like, I know when I get out into the real world,
it's going to be a lot different than what they're teaching us in school. Because in school right now, no right turn on red, regardless of whether you can or can't, it's no right turn on red.
Like, they're like, don't be telling traffic that they can go. Don't do that, because you're responsible if they get into an accident, right?
Yes.
Yep.
To push people behind the white line if you can't make your turn. Well, if I got somewhere to be, you're going to get out of my way. Because, you know, like certain things are much different, much different.
Yeah.
So eat them. Eat them.
Anyway,
If I was making a left-hand turn and somebody was over the line, I would get close to them and then just make them back up.
Yeah. Yeah, I hate it when you're getting ready to make a right-hand turn. There's 2 right-hand lanes, and then you got a car next to you too, because that makes me a nervous wreck too.
Yep.
But you'll get, I told you from the first day I met you, I knew you were going to get this. I knew you were going to be an awesome trucker, and now it's just a matter of the formalities from here. You're going to get
Pretty much, and minding my business, and when to do it and how to do it, and let it go, and be quiet. But a couple more days.
Just a reminder, Ashley and Catherine's show, you can catch it here tomorrow at 7 p.m. You can catch it on Trucker Safety Divas and also on their page, which we're going to put in Trucker Safety Divas so you guys can see that. Wednesday, we'll have our 12 o'clock show here on Trucker Safety Divas. Again, you can catch it the same places that you watch it there on a Trucker's View or Trucker Safety Divas. Kathy Cutler is going to be the host of the Wednesday shows, and we never know who's going to be on it. It's going to be a surprise every week. So we could have up to 10 girls on it. We have no idea, but it should be fun. Just kind of a midweek, very casual catch up. I don't think we're even going to have topics for the Wednesday show. It's just going to be kind of catching up, letting you guys know what's going on. Let you know what's going on with the guys show on Friday night, the girls show Saturday night, and the new show that's on Sunday too. So it's going to be a weekend full of trucking safety diva and dude stuff.
It ought to be fun though. It sounds like fun. And like I said, hop in on Wednesday. It really just depends on how much time I have.
Yeah.
To get in to say, hey, okay, I'm doing but I'll do my best. I'll do my best.
Well, we are going to let you guys go. I don't know who's going to be on the show next week. Like I said, the cool thing about it is it changes every week. I know I'll be here. We may have the whole crew back next Saturday. I know Lori will be here for sure. But hopefully I'll be back on the road. So that's why I'm crossing my fingers.
Absolutely. I keep you in my prayers, Miss Angie.
Thank you.
For sure.
All right, guys, you guys take care. Thank you for watching the show. Don't forget to visit us at Trucker Safety Divas. I'll have the links in there for the Girls Sunday show. Again, it's going to be 7 p.m. Central. And then we'll have our Wednesday show at noon. And then the guys will have their show next Friday at 7. Don't ask me what they're going to talk about because I have no idea yet, but I'm going to work on that.
They need to work on their connection first, Angela. Connection first.
Connection first. And I think we need Justin to... Yeah, I think we need Justin to be the ringleader of the 3 of them.
He said, how is it? I don't, okay. Because you are the man. That's why you are the man.
He's the youngest, and he's the only one that can keep the 2 of them in line.
Did you hear that?
Like how
He's such a stink.
I know.
But
All right. You guys have a great week, and we'll see you guys back there
Absolutely.
next week.
Have a
Thank
good
you,
night,
Chris.
everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.